Hello there, I'm Serges right here, and welcome to my live video. Okay, let me see who is going to join first. I need one person, just one person to join and tell me if the audio and the video quality is okay before we go into the video, because in this video I want us to talk about mobile repairing course. So the video is dedicated for those who want to learn mobile repairing, either starting from the basics or starting from the professional level, you understand. So I'm waiting for one person. So if you are watching this video, meanwhile if it turns out that you are watching this video later, which means that the live is not going on at that time, you can actually skip this part to the part in which I start. Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to tell me if the audio is okay. Okay, I can see three people are here. Can you tell me if this is okay, the audio is okay, and the voice quality? Okay, okay, great. So I hope you guys are doing great today. And in this video, I want us to talk about mobile repairing. So I want us to talk about my mobile repairing course, right? So I want you to understand the reason why you should go for the course, or the reason why you should take your time, then study more on mobile PCBs if you are interested in doing deep troubleshooting in a mobile PCB. So my course covers up, almost everything when it comes to mobile repairing. That is why I have two courses, which is for the beginners and for those who have been doing the work, and for those who really want to start everything from the basics or from the professional level of troubleshooting. So I've been talking about this course for a long time now, and a lot of people don't really know how serious these course lessons are, because they think that, okay, I create a lot of repairing videos, a lot of tutorial videos on YouTube. So most people think that that's all it is when it comes to mobile repairing. They believe that there is nothing much to learn when it comes to mobile repairing, in which that's not the case. Just my basic level course, it has some things in which I've already talked about in my YouTube channel, in a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, but the course is well detailed. I'm talking about the basic level course, because when it comes to the professional level course, I haven't talked about anything on my YouTube channel when it comes to that course, because the course is an advanced level lesson, and the lessons are very good. I can assure you that. You understand? So if you want to get either the basic level or the professional level course, I believe that you are interested in knowing, sorry, you are interested in knowing all the lessons that are available in these courses, in which I will talk about all the lessons that are available in the basic level course and in the professional level course. Okay, let's. You can actually change. I'm talking about the question that I received right here. You can change the blower. Yeah, there is what's the name again? There is a element, an element. If I'm not getting your question wrong, there is an element in which you can actually buy. If your blower is not normal working, like producing heat, you can buy the element, the new element, then put it in the blower, and you will be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to go into my phone right here. I'm going to check the course outline. I'm going to start with the basic level course. Then we will talk about all the lessons that are in the basic level course. And from there, we will go to the professional level course, in which I know that most of you guys right here will be interested in the professional level course. So I'm just going to check all the outlines and go on talk about the lessons and what you can learn from each lesson. You understand? So if you are watching this, kindly like this live, and Also, there are some things here like super thanks. I haven't tried that. I'm not mostly coming online, so I don't know. I'm not mostly coming live on YouTube, so I don't know much about that. So if there is any way of supporting me, like super chat, something like that, then you can just go on with that. So I'm going to check this right now. You're welcome, my brother. You're welcome. I'm going to check this. Um, okay, so here we are going to start with my basic level course. Here are the topics. I have a couple of topics. There are more than 11 topics in my basic level course. And the first topic is troubleshooting a dead mobile phone. It has two chapters, and it has chapter 1 and chapter 2. So in the chapter 1, which is the first lesson that you will come across when you get the course, in the chapter 1 lesson, you are going to study how to troubleshoot a dead mobile phone, starting from the basics. I mean, starting from testing the battery, testing the diode reading of the complete PCB, and testing the components of the mobile PCB when you are troubleshooting the mobile phone. So this chapter 1, you are going to learn everything as if you are a new technician. Even if you have been working for years, right? If you get the basic level, you are still going to start everything starting from the basics. And it will be very important because even as I am here, I know a lot of things, right? But still, if I start someone else's course from the basics, I tell you what, I will still learn a lot from that. So there is always a lot to learn. So the chapter 1 starts from the basics of troubleshooting a dead mobile phone, starting from testing the battery, testing the mobile PCB, diode reading, and to a certain level of troubleshooting a dead mobile phone. Meanwhile, the chapter 2 also will start from where the chapter 1 ended to the certain level, which is like the programming level, understanding if it's the power manager IC, the eMMC, the CPU is the problem or not. So what I want you to understand between in these two lessons is that this will be in PDF format. Okay, yeah. When most people see that some of the lessons are in PDF format, they will be like, "Oh, I'm not really going to understand everything." Most things, I tell you what, you are going to understand a lot because in this PDF format, I don't just give notes. I give notes and pictures pointing at each section that I'm talking about. And keep in mind, I'm still going on. There are a lot of lessons right here with both PDF and videos. So we have talked about the chapter 1. We are going to go to the chapter 3, which is identifying all mobile phone ICs and knowing their functions. So if you are able to identify all mobile phone ICs and able to know their functions, then troubleshooting will be very easy for you. For example, if you know how to identify the backlight IC, the sound IC of a mobile phone, you receive a phone with a sound problem. You start troubleshooting from the speaker. If you start troubleshooting from the speaker, then you see that the speaker is okay. You know how to track the line to the sound IC, then you are going to do that. And just opening the mobile PCB, looking at it, removing the shield in case it's covered with a shield, then if you check on the PCB, check on the section, you'll be able to identify that, okay, if the speaker is okay, the tracks are okay. For me to test the tracks, to know if the tracks from the speaker to the IC is okay, I will need to test it from this section and from this IC, because for example the sound section of a mobile phone will have the sound IC itself, and it will have the sound filters, which are either low value resistors or inductors. And if you know how to identify all these things, you'll be able to easily do identification of ICs. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. So that's the third lesson in the basic level course. And also, the third lesson is in PDF format, but it's a very long lesson. It's a very long lesson. I mean, I've covered up everything about identifying sections of a mobile PCB with the ICs and how they function. You understand? And there is a lesson, though it's not a big lesson, which is how to use a DC power supply. So this is not a big lesson because I have put in a lot of work on this in my professional level course. But in the basic level course, you will get a glimpse on how to use a DC power supply to repair mobile phones. Hi, Sam Henry. Thank you very much, brother. I'm grateful. Okay, so after the DC power supply lesson, you will have a general lesson, which is all in one lesson. In this lesson, you will learn about almost every circuit and the ICs in a mobile PCB. It's just a general lesson in which helps you understand the circuits and ICs and their functions in a mobile PCB. It's not specifically about a certain IC, a certain problem, but a lot of things. You understand? So now, after that lesson, which is all in one lesson, it's not, like I said, it's not specific on troubleshooting a certain problem. So after that, we will have troubleshooting lessons, which is the real deal. And I'm going to mention all the lessons right here and tell you exactly what you are going to learn from them. Okay. Hi, Matthew. So for you to be able to join my course, I have I do not paste the link. I have an online store in which you can purchase my professional level course directly from the store. And for the basic level, I'm still to add it to the store. So I'm going to add my WhatsApp number on the chat right here. You can send me a message on WhatsApp to purchase the course directly. Either you're purchasing the basic level or the professional level. And I'm also going to add the store link. I don't know if that will be highlighted, but I'm just going to do that right now. A moment. I'm going to add my WhatsApp number. Okay, that's my WhatsApp number. So you can send me a message on WhatsApp in case you want to purchase the course from me directly. And like I said, in my online store, my basic level is not yet added. So you can only purchase the professional levels course in which you can purchase using your credit card. Okay, the temperature I usually use to open phones, especially those that have screw behind in the screen. Okay, the safest temperature for you to use if you don't have a screen removal machine, you should use 200. The temperature should be at 200, then the air should be 50. So you need to be very careful not to focus the heat because the 200 will produce a lot of heat. It's not that high, but it will be able for you not to focus a lot of heat in one section. So you set it to 200, then you go around the screen. Don't focus in one section. You go around the screen with the temperature. You can even set it a high temperature. The more the air, you can set a high air. The more the air, the far you have to be close to the screen. You understand? So if you set it 200, which is the 200, then set the at this level, go around 100, which is the air, you will have to be at this level because the more the air, the more force that the air is going to push the heat from the hot gun to the screen. I hope you do understand that. And also, it's very important to have such knowledge in mind because you can easily damage the screen just by hitting it to remove it. If you focus the heat too much heat in one particular section, you will see that maybe there is a black dot, white dot, and that will be really bad. So I'm going to paste my link, my store link, before we continue talking about the lessons. Okay, a moment, I'm almost done. Okay, that's my online store. If you want to purchase my professional level course, if you just click on the link in which I just pasted in the chat, it will take you to the purchase site in which you can pay using your credit card or your PayPal account. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just going to pin the course. Okay, that's the course site. I just pin it on the chat. You can easily access it from there. So let's continue with the lessons of the basic level course. So after studying the general topic of understanding the whole mobile PCB and its component, the next lesson, which will have PDF and videos, theoretical videos explaining what you are going to learn in the PDF and the mobile PCB, that will be troubleshooting charging problem. So this lesson is very good. This lesson is very good, even though you are going to also learn about this in the professional level course, but the professional level course is not going to start any explanation from the basics. That's what you need to keep in mind. So in this charging troubleshooting lesson, you're going to learn how to troubleshoot any type of charging problem. You're going to understand all the circuits, the charging circuit in a mobile PCB, starting from the charging port. You have the OBP IC, you have the charging IC, and all the components that the charging voltage passes through, and also understanding the type of PCBs that have a charging IC and those that do not have a charging IC. If you have been working on phones like Infinix, Techno mobile PCB, you will see that some of them don't actually have a charging IC. When the voltage passes through the OPP IC, it gets directly to the power manager IC. And if you don't know about this, then you will keep on searching on the PCB looking for the charging IC or trying to solve a charging problem. Meanwhile, the voltage is getting into the power manager IC, which the power manager IC is now the IC that converts the charging voltage to the voltage in which have to charge the battery and send the signal to the CPU to display that. So the lesson is very important. Okay, so after the charging lesson, you are going to learn about the network troubleshooting fault. So with the network troubleshooting fault, that's a very big lesson, and it's not completed in the basic level one because it's impossible to just include that right here. And if I included that, then reaching a certain level, you are not going to understand a lot of things because the lesson is very big. Even after putting it in the level one and extending it in the professional level course, it's still a big lesson in the professional level course. So with the network troubleshooting, you will learn how to troubleshoot networks starting from the settings. Because when you receive a mobile phone, right? If you receive a mobile phone that is not switching on, you don't just have to go directly. You don't just have to go directly to the phone to start troubleshooting, opening the phone. You have to start checking the settings. Like if there is no service, emergency call, no signal, check the IMEI, check the baseband of the phone, try to reset, do things like reset the network settings, reset the phone settings before you can go on and open the phone. Those are the things that we are going to learn in this course. Okay. Yeah, the best method is to get a screen remover tool than hitting it. You understand? That's the best option. It's the best option. If you are able to get a screen removal tool, then I suggest you do so. Okay. Okay, one moment before we continue on setting up some things on my PC. Okay, so let's continue. We talked about the network troubleshooting lesson in the basic level course. So after the network troubleshooting lesson in the basic level course, you are going to get a lesson on how to troubleshoot a backlight problem. And I can see that there are a lot of backlight problem issues in mobile phone these days. And because if you have been watching my recent videos, you will see that most phones that I repair, they are from mobile phone technicians, because I don't do like a general repair. Not a lot of people knows me in town that I do repair, because I just try to create the repairing videos online, the ones that you watch, and only the mobile phone technicians in town knows me. The customers, like, yeah, they don't really know me, and the technicians that knows me, they are from mostly from my YouTube channel. And when they realize that I'm in the same town with them, yeah, they bring a lot of phones for me to repair. And I notice that they still have a long way to go. You understand? Though they are trying their best to get the cost. Some already got the cause, while some are still trying to get the causes. You understand? So in the backlight troubleshooting lesson, you are going to learn everything about troubleshooting backlight problem, understanding the backlight circuit. So you can see the reason why the mobile IC identification lesson is very important, because if you receive a phone with a backlight problem right here, you open the phone, you will know the exact section in which you have to start troubleshooting the backlight problem from. And also from this lesson, looking at the screen flex, you can be able to identify which line the backlight voltage is passing through from the screen flex. Understand? The bigger the voltage, the bigger the line in the flex. For example, the voltage, the line in which passes the 5 volt in the flex from the charging port to the main PCB. If you look at the line, you will see that it's different from any other line in the flex. I think if you have been repairing, then you will actually know this. Hi, yeah, welcome to the live, my brother. Okay, so from the backlight lesson, we are going to study about the sound lesson, in which I talked about it in the beginning of this video when I was giving an example why, yeah, you might actually need the course. You are going to study sound troubleshooting. You any type of sound problem in a mobile phone, from no sound to sound that is making noise even when you change the speaker, or any type of sound, you understand how to troubleshoot sound problems step by step. And again, if you want this course, send me a message on WhatsApp, or you can purchase my professional level course that's in the pin comment right there. I'm from Cameroon. From Cameroon. Okay. Okay, so after that, you are going to learn how to use a short killer and how to make a short killer. So in this lesson, it's about the homemade short killer, because a lot of us right here don't have uh, a short killer, and in most cases we don't have access to buy the short killer, you understand. So in this lesson you will learn how to make a short killer that you can use for the meantime. I was also using a homemade short killer, you understand. It was working very well before I got my DC power supply. The DC power supply that I'm using right here, which is this, actually has an integrated short killer, so I don't need a short killer when I have this. But in this lesson, if you don't have a DC power supply that has an integrated short killer, or you don't have a short killer, you can learn how to make a short killer and how to use your homemade short killer in this lesson. And also, you are going to learn. Okay, let me see. Okay, also you are going to learn how to use a multimeter. So this multimeter lesson is very important, because you're not just going to learn how to test voltage in a mobile PCB. You're not going to learn how to test things like fuse. You're not just going to learn how to test to use buzzer mode in a mobile PCB. You're not just going to learn how to test things in diode mode in the a mobile PCB using your multimeter. In this lesson, you are going to learn things like all the ohm section, which are the ohm ranges in your multimeter. You are going to learn the capacitance mode, the resistance mode, the diode mode, and you are going to learn things like kilo ohm mode, 20 kilo ohm mode, 100 kilo ohm mode in your multimeter, because these modes are very important when you are doing deep troubleshooting. Because if you don't know how to use these modes, when you are testing resistors in a mobile PCB, especially when you are using a schematic diagram to troubleshoot and actually seeing that this resistor is a 10 kilo ohm resistor, and testing it with your multimeter, if you don't know how to set your multimeter to test that, you will not know if the resistor is bad or if it's okay. For example, if you test, most of us set our multimeter to buzzer mode, which can read a lot of low value resistors. If you set your multimeter to buzzer mode and you are testing a resistor of 10 kilo ohm, it's not going to give a reading. And because of that, if you don't have the knowledge that you can tune your multimeter to the perfect range to test that particular resistor, you will be like, damn, man, this resistor is not working, which that's not the case. You understand? That's what you need to keep in mind. If you know how to use your multimeter perfectly, you will know how to do deep testing of components. Yes, I do repair iPhones. I fix iPhones, but I don't have courses on iPhones yet. Okay, when it comes to the most common problems when troubleshooting the mobile phones, it's mostly caused by capacitors. It's not in all cases that it will be in the power manager section, because we will have capacitors that are bad in the network section, depending on which line they are connected to. If they are connected to the primary line or the secondary line, they will short the mobile PCB. But in most cases, capacitors are the ones stopping the phone from switching on. Either it's full shorting or half shorting. Yeah, if you have been watching my recent videos, you will see that I solve a lot of power problems recently. Okay, so after studying After studying the multimeter lesson in my basic level course, you are also going to study how to read schematic diagram. And this is a big lesson. This is a big lesson for those who want to do deep troubleshooting. If you know how to troubleshoot using schematic diagrams, I tell you what, you will actually enjoy troubleshooting problem and using schematic diagrams. Those with testing schematics, you can a lot from schematic diagrams. And to be sincere, right here, I learned a lot just by using schematic diagrams. I started the first time that I installed a schematic diagram in my PCB. I had no idea about a lot of things, but after going through the schematic diagrams, checking the PCB guidelines, I tend to understand a lot of things and how a lot of components function. Those are things that you actually need to have in case you want to learn a lot. You understand? Okay, so that was the second to the last lesson in the basic level course. And the last lesson will be software repair. And it's not a big lesson of software because my courses are mostly focused on hardware. There is a software lesson in my level 1 course in which you are going to learn the basics of software. I do not go deep in the lesson of software, you understand. So if you are getting the course, you don't have to rely on the software because it's not a big lesson. So when you go through all the lessons that I mentioned, you are going to complete my basic level course. And I have a lot of people who haven't yet gotten my professional level course, but they are very good in troubleshooting just by going through the basic level course. So you can get both of them at once, or you can start with the basic level. And I tell you what, even if you complete the basic level and still preparing yourself to get a professional level, you will be good in troubleshooting a lot of faults. Okay, so the Samsung A22 that you are talking about, it seems like there is no import mode in the mobile PCB. If pressing the power key, yeah, consumes around 86 ampere, but after releasing it, it goes back. It means that there is no import mode. The power IC actually triggers when you press it, but the CPU is not able to take the voltage and hold the voltage, because when you switch on your phone, there is a reset signal, a clock signal running between the CPU and the power IC, and a lot of VREGs, which are the outputs when you press the power key that needs to supply the CPU. If one of these output is bad, or maybe the clock or the reset signal, then you will have problems like that. The CPU won't be able to hold up the voltage and send a hold signal to the power manager IC to hold that output. That's why you get such a problem. But what I want you to understand right here is that first, the power manager IC is switching on, but that doesn't mean that it can be okay. It can still be bad in a certain section, not the voltage. And second, I want you to know that maybe there is an open circuit in the CPU. But before you do that, you will have to use your schematic diagram and find all the outputs of the power manager IC and test that output when you press and hold the power key when there is that 86 milliampere current consumption. If you do that, you'll be able to know if there are some outputs that are lacking in some particular VREGs or not. So yeah, there is still a lot to troubleshooting problems like that. I'm just giving you a glimpse so that you will understand how you can troubleshoot that, if in case you actually learn how to do this step by step. Okay. Okay, so with the Nokia C22, you will have to open it then find the display section. Mostly the display, it will be the display IC that is not able to power up the display. You understand? No, if you are able to identify it, identify the section, you'll be able to solve the problem. If it's not in the Boolean schematic diagram, then you will just have to use your identification knowledge, then identify the section in a mobile PC. Yeah, then try the troubleshooting out. Try to troubleshoot. And if you know how to test the display section, you'll be able to solve problems like this. Display problems can easily be solved by jumper, especially the display IC. Because if you know how the display section and the display IC of a mobile PCB function, then you'll be able to solve this type of problem. For example, if I'm the one trying to solve the display problem in the C22 that they are talking about, once I have identified the display section, I know exactly where I need to expect the voltage that is getting into the IC, and I know the exact voltage that I'm expecting and the exact voltage that I'm expecting to come out from the IC. The display IC, again, I don't know if you watched a video of me talking about display IC before, but the display IC is not the one that is giving the image to the IC, to the display, sorry. The display IC is not the IC that is giving image to the display. The display IC only gives out a voltage. In most cases, it's 5 volt, 5 on 5 or 6 volt. It supplies the display with voltage to power up. And this voltage is different from the backlight voltage. Understand? So this 5 volt from the display IC is powering up the display to give the display the image that is taken from the lines that are coming from the CPU, not the display IC. That's what you need to have in mind. Okay, so for the Samsung A22 that you are talking about, you say you have all the outputs, right? And from what I'm trying to understand right here, you are getting the outputs, which are the diode readings of the outputs. So you can still get the diode reading of the output, which means that there is no open circuit, right? But you won't get the voltage. You need to keep in mind, if you test it, then you are going to also test the voltage. But it's very good that if you understand right now from my explanation before, that the CPU has a big role to play in that type of problem. So you have to test the voltage when you press and hold the power key, because when you press and hold the power key from your explanation, the power IC triggers. You understand? It triggers a voltage, but there is no whole back voltage, which means that the voltage is not completely, all the voltages are not getting into the CPU. The boot up process is not even starting, because when you press the power key after the reset and the clock signal of the power IC is going to send all voltages to the CPU. And once the CPU uh, uh, performs the clock signal, the reset signal is going to send a hold signal to the power manager IC, which is going to hold the voltage that is given out. When it holds the voltage, that's when the CPU will go into import mode. And from the current consumption that you just mentioned right here, that's no import mode. The CPU is not available according to the current consumption. You understand? Okay. Okay, we have talked about the basic level course, so let's talk about all the lessons that are available in the professional level course, because I know that most of you guys really want this professional level course, and I highly recommend it. You understand? I highly recommend it. So I'm going to go into it, then we will go into all the lessons that are available there. Yeah, it needs CPU reballing. But before you do that, you should check the output voltages, like I said. because at times the power manager IC might be the one to report your understanding. You should also do that. Okay, so let's talk about all the lessons that are available in the professional level course. As you can see right here, I don't know if you are seeing that clearly. We have a lot of lessons in the professional level course, and when you check each of these lessons, you will see that there are a lot of chapters in the lesson. There are no PDF files in this course, all videos, all explanation videos. And after you are done with this course, looking at any mobile PCB, even iPhones, even though it's not an iPhone course, even looking at iPhone PCB, you'll be able to troubleshoot. They use the same electronic components, but the way that they program the PCB is different from that of Android. But you can actually troubleshoot. I work on iPhones. Yeah, I actually work on iPhones, and I work on a lot of electronic circuit. That's because I have an idea on how all electronic components function and how to work on a circuit. You understand? So you don't have to learn iPhone repair before you can be able to do basic troubleshooting, like troubleshooting power problem, especially. You understand? So the first, okay, let me see. Thank you very much, my brother. I'm trying my best right here. Thank you. Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask before I start talking about the lessons in the professional level course. If you have any question about the course, you can ask. Okay, when you connect USB cable to a Samsung A15, charging IC gets very hot. Okay, that seems to be a short. That seems to be a short, and also in most cases, especially Samsung phones, it's been caused by the OVP IC. When the OVP IC is shorting, it can cause it to get hot, and you might think that that's the charging IC. So that's actually a short, and also it can also be caused by shorting capacitors from a different side of the mobile PCB can cause an IC to heat up. Need to keep that in mind also. So you can check for the shortage in the mobile PCB. Okay, you want me to be your mentor. That's okay. Once you get my course, I'm your mentor. Once you're watching my YouTube videos, I'm your mentor, right? So it's up to you if you want to get a course or keep watching, because I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos. You need to keep that in mind. So you are going to learn a lot. And you say how to identify the VPH line. The VPH line is different. The way of identifying the VPH line is different based on the mobile PCB, but in most cases, you can be able to identify it if you are familiar with the sections. And that's not actually something that I can just explain right here and you will understand. If there was a PCB, then yeah, I can actually explain that. But you need to keep in mind that the VPH line starts from the charging IC, which is the VPH is the main power supply, is the VBAT, secondary voltage, and the VBAT is being converted to the VPH by the MOS tube. through the charging IC. You understand? Okay. Okay, if you check all the components and everything seems okay, but there is a component getting hot, then you will have to change the component. If the charging IC, then you will have to change it. Maybe there is some internal short somewhere in the IC which you cannot get short externally, like in the component around it. Yeah, understand. Okay, mobile engineering is very profitable. It's very profitable. It also depends in the area that you're in. Yeah, it depends because in some areas, like here in my country, a lot of people are not ready to pay for the work that you are doing. Even though there will always be phones to work on, people buy new phones, use phones all day, there will always be phones to work on. But you can, if you are doing something like doing deep troubleshooting, having to reball ICs, do a lot of things which takes a lot of time, there is no one here who is ready to pay for that, to be sincere. But if you are somewhere in which you know that there are a lot of people there who are ready to pay for the work that you are doing, then it's a very good work to do. You can benefit a lot by doing this work. Okay, you mean the VPH line? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I about the VPH line. That's what I was talking about. Okay, if there is no question, then we are going to talk about the lessons in the professional level course. So the first lesson in which you will come across after purchasing the professional level course is no trigger circuit and troubleshooting. No trigger circuit. It sounds different from all the words that I use in my videos, right? Recently. So the no trigger circuit means that you're going to study the trigger circuit of a mobile phone. You're going to study and understand trigger circuit of a mobile phone starting from the V, but you will understand the complete circuit. You will understand the circuit of the VBAT being converted to the VPH by the charging IC. And you are going to study the power manager IC and the trigger, because the trigger line start from the power manager IC from the power button. You are going to study the circuit, how everything functions, and you are going to study also the signal of the power manager IC. This is a very big lesson. I don't know if it sounds great by saying it this way, but you will learn a lot in such a way that when you are troubleshooting, you will actually enjoy the knowledge in which you have in mind just by looking at the mobile PCD. So that's the first lesson. Okay, so we will have the second lesson will be trigger active, no power, and we are going to study the circuit or complete circuit. Again, it's a very big circuit. So the trigger active, no power means that you are going to use your power supply. When you connect your power supply to your mobile PCB, you press and hold the power key, similar to the problem to the Samsung A21 that we are talking about in the chat. when you press the power key and the DC power supply shows that there is a current consumption, which means that there is trigger in the phone. But yet, after releasing it, instead of the current consumption to stop on a dead mobile PCB, it will be stopped in a certain current reading. You understand? So when it's stopped in a certain current reading and there is no power still, that's a power no trigger fault in a mobile PCB. You understand? That's trigger active, no power, which is the second lesson in the professional level course in which you are going to learn. So you are going to learn how to troubleshoot trigger active, no power in the mobile course. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have a lot of questions right here to be responding to, and I'm trying to rush everything up because I don't have enough time here either, but we can chat later on WhatsApp. But I'm going to answer this right here, then go through all the topics. Yesterday I had Oppo A86 125. Okay, cool. Okay, you are not able to factory reset the PCB, the mobile phone. Was the tool not detecting the phone, or what's the error that you were getting? The error message that you were getting when you try to format the phone. That information is very important for me to be able to tell you exactly what to do. And also, if you are not able to get into the recovery mode, there are some mobile PCB in which even after resetting it, the recovery mode using tools, the security in the phone will come out. In such cases, you need to understand that there is a partition, there's a particular partition in the eMMC that is corrupt. So if, for example, the security partition, and for those who are in programming, they will understand that if the security partition, the recovery partition has a problem, is corrupt, then you will have problems. Even after resetting, security won't come out, even though it's not a hard security to come out in the related phones. You understand? So in some cases, the eMMC has to be reprogrammed in case you keep, even by flashing, the phone, the security will still there. In this case, you will have to reprogram the eMMC to be able to remove and flash the phone next time and clear everything up. Okay, so the phone stopped stocking up and heating up. Okay, that type of problem, the step that I want you to go to solve, you have to flash the phone. Phones that giving complications to flash even by using tools, I didn't know that they could easily just flash the phone or unlock the phone. In some cases, it's all about the software corruption, like I was talking about. But the heating part might also be a software problem, like it's been stuck in a particular mode, but still yet the system is forcing to run and hitting the phone up. So first, I want you to try flashing the phone with a full firmware, and that might solve the problem. If it doesn't solve the problem, then you will have to open the mobile PCB, check components like in the processing section, and see which one of them is heating up. It's always important to know the exact component that is heating up. You understand? I don't recommend you to go on then change the IC. I'm talking about the A21 phone, brother. Like I said, you have to test everything and confirm. If you already tested the VREGs, the diode modes of the capacitors or the components like the the ball coils, and you have the diode reading of them. Then you have to test the voltage. If you test the voltage and you don't get all the voltages required in those points, that's when I can say, okay, you can go on and change the power manager IC. You understand? Okay, I'm just going to go on with the lessons. Okay, so after the first and the second lesson, which the first is no trigger circuit troubleshooting, which the second is trigger active no power troubleshooting. The third will be tracing CPU and RAM power supplies. I talked about this earlier. So in this lesson, you will learn how to troubleshoot the CPU and the RAM power supply, which is the eMMC in most phones. In most phones, we have the CPU and we have the eMMC. But in some phones, we have the CPU, the eMMC, we have the CPU, you have the eMMC, which is the storage, and then we have the RAM. So the RAM that we are talking about right here in most phones nowadays is integrated with the CPU. You see these double mount CPUs, right? The double mount CPUs have the CPU under and it has the RAM mounted on top of the CPU. And in the other side, we have the hard disk, which is the eMMC. So in this lesson, you are going to learn how to find all the voltages, which are the VRAGs, the power supplies of these components. Either it's mounted or not mounted. Mobile PCB, you are going to learn all that. Okay. Let me know if you are not getting. I will try to check the sound right here. Are you getting it all right? Is everything sounding okay? Let me know if everything is sounding okay. I will check that also from my phone right here. Okay, okay, great. Okay, let me see. Okay, so after the CPU and the RAM power supply troubleshooting lesson, we are going to also check the hard disk, which is the eMMC. Like I said, the CPU and the RAM in most phones is being mounted. So you are going to learn how you can troubleshoot that. And in the hard disk, which is the eMMC, it can be a eMMC type storage or UFS type storage. You're going to learn how to find the main power supply. And this also has a specific lesson. And these are not just short videos. These are videos in which you will learn how to find these in schematic diagrams, and you will learn how to find this in a bit mapping and in the mobile PCB itself. So the lessons are very good. The lessons are very good. And okay, we talk about no trigger, we talk about trigger active. So there is a lesson right here with small current trigger and no power problem. So for example, if you connect your mobile PCB, oh, sorry. In this lesson, it shows that if you connect a mobile PCB that is not switching on to your DC power supply, you press the power key and you see a small current consumption like between the 15 milliampere to 20 or 30. That's a small current trigger, which means that you are going to press the power key. Then you see that small current consumption. When you release it, you will still have it. but yet there is no power. You're going to learn and understand the circuit related to this type of fault and how you can troubleshoot. You understand? So you can see the course is very interesting. It's very good. And also here there is a big lesson which is very important, which is complete mobile startup process. This has a lot to do with the DC power supply. So in this lesson, you will learn all the current consumption and you will understand a particular all the particular current consumptions to expect in a particular section when a phone is booting up. So I talk about things like import mode. In a mobile PCB, we have a standby mode, we have import mode, we have what again? Yeah, there are a lot of mode. We have import mode, and we have the firmware loading mode, which is the operating system loading mode. It has another name, yeah, in which you can call it. So in this, all these modes, when you are pressing the power key of your phone, troubleshooting power problem, looking at your DC power supply, you will know that okay, if the phone is talking in this particular current consumption or not reaching this particular current consumption, it means that the problem is from this particular circuit. So in this lesson, I'll talk about the current consumption before pressing the power key, which can be 0 or 2 depending on the mobile PCB. When you connect a phone to your DC power supply, depending on the phone, it might give a 0 amp reading. Meanwhile, some phones you can connect it and it will give a 0.2 milliampere before you can press the power key. So in this lesson, you will learn that when you press the power key, this particular voltage, you need to expect it when you press, and when the power manager IC clock signal reset, you are going to expect this certain amount of voltage. When the CPU receives the voltage from the power manager IC, send the reset signal, the clock signal, and the hold signal, you are going to see the voltage and expect the voltage to see on your DC power supply. And if you don't see that voltage, you will know that the problem is between the CPU or the power or the power manager IC. Like I was talking about the Samsung A21 that we are talking about on the chart. Those are things that you need to understand. And what there is something that you need to understand about this course also. So testing and expecting to see all this voltage, you also understand how to find lines on the mobile PCB. So if it's a clock signal line, you will learn how to find that clock signal using schematic diagram, and you will learn how to find that clock signal in a mobile PCB using a bit mapping. You understand? If it's a reset signal, you will learn how to test that reset signal in a mobile PCB. In most cases, you test this in diode mode to see if there is a diode reading because they are signal lines. You understand? If it's a hold signal, which is very important and can cause a mobile phone to release current consumption as soon as you leave the power key. If there is no hold signal to tell the power manager IC that the CPU receive all the voltages and it needs to hold the output, if there is no signal right there, then you will have a big problem. So in this lesson, you'll learn all the things like that. And when you just connect your mobile phone to your DC power supply, switching on, if it's not booting up or any type of fault, just looking at the reading in your DC power supply when you press the power key, you will know exactly where to check. Yeah, you'll know exactly where to check. Okay, the phone that takes 5 volt and 0.7, that can be the charging IC. That can be the charging IC or the components in the charging IC circuit. So in this type of fault, you need to check the charging voltage, even though some phones will have a charging signal in the battery connector will have a charging signal. And when you connect the battery, that's when the signal will go back to the charging IC and give it command to give out the charging voltage. So you have to test like a 1.5 volt or 1.8 volt in the ID pin, if in case it has an ID pin, a B10 pin in the battery connector. You'll have to test to see if you will get a voltage in case if the particular PCB that you are working on doesn't give out a high charging voltage without you connecting the battery. So we are going to continue right here. We're going to continue. So I don't think we are going to complete all these. The lessons are, we have a lot of lessons, and I'm sharing my data connection from this phone. It's 10% right here. It's going to go off. But I just wanted you to know all the things that you are going to learn. Okay, so after studying the complete startup process, you are going to study you are going to study the types of backlight circuits in a mobile PCB, and this lesson is very important. If you have been watching my videos, you will see that I mostly talk about 6-pin backlight IC in most cases. And if you look at the mobile PCBs nowadays, you will see that they no longer have a 6-pin backlight IC. You see phones like Huawei, Xiaomi, Samsung, they don't have that. Google Pixel, they have a very big backlight IC. So in this mobile repairing lesson, which is a professional lesson, you will study both the 6-pin backlight IC circuit, and you will study the bigger chip backlight circuit. Doesn't matter how many pins the bigger backlight IC will have. You are going to study all that. You will start studying from the input voltage, the enable signals, to study the output voltages, and where to expect. Very good lesson. It's a very good lesson. And also you are going to study the display circuit of mobile PCB. This is a very good lesson. No explanation needed. You need to know that it's a very good lesson and a very big lesson for that matter. And also you are going to study charging problems like charging failure problems. You plug in your charger to your mobile phone, it shows temperature, it shows any type of charging error in a mobile PCB, any type of charging problem. You are going to study that. You understand, you're going to study all the circuit in general and know how you can know how you can solve any type of problem. Tell us which days you go live on YouTube. I don't actually know exactly for now because I hardly come live on YouTube, but I will try to do that more often from now. No, my brother, I only speak English. I speak English only. So I will try to come live on YouTube more often, but I don't know the exact days. Yeah, if I'm free, that I can do that mostly all day. You can come 30 minutes, then I go off. That will be okay. So I can come then we discuss about a lot of things. Okay, so from the display lesson, we have the charging lesson, and from the charging lesson, we have the speaker and the mic troubleshooting lesson. Very big lesson. You study the speaker circuit and you study the mic circuit. You understand? You're going to study all this, and the mic part is very important. Mic problems is very hard for people to troubleshoot, especially when they receive a phone with a mic problem. They change the mic and the problem still continues. They will know what to do next. You are going to learn that from this circuit, and you learn the complete circuit. That's why they need to understand about each topic right here. You don't just learn how to troubleshoot, you learn about the circuit and having a big understanding on how the circuit functions. You understand? And you're going to study SIM card failure circuit. This is a very big lesson, how to solve SIM card problems in a mobile phone. Your SIM card is not reading. Most people don't know how to do that or how they can start troubleshooting. In this, you will learn how to test the enable signal of the SIM card. You know how to test the SIM card input voltage. You will learn the complete circuit of the SIM card. You will learn about the NFC IC, which is the main input IC of the SIM card. Without this IC, the SIM card won't function. So if you know how to test this IC, know how to test all the signals, then you will be good to go. And this lesson will tell you how you can do that. You understand? Okay. Explain the network section. That's a very good request, but I cannot actually do that right now. I cannot actually do that right now. It's very complicated because, to be sincere, right here in my professional level course, the longest lesson in this course is network. The network is a big lesson and it's very complicated to understand. But the basics, yeah, it's very easy to understand the basics. It's really long.